Hello guys, my name's Foward and welcome back to the channel. This is actually the first time I've done an actual webcam video or a vlog. I thought that it would be a nice change of pace from just normal gaming content, and it would just sort of give you an introduction into who I am as a person, where I come from, stuff like that, talking about my work, talking about where I am at this point in life. It's just sort of like a little series where it's pretty much going to be what I'm doing at the minute, and I don't know if there's going to be another one. So yeah, I just thought I'd give a little introduction. So obviously, I like growing up. The only thing that I've ever been passionate about is playing video games. I've always loved playing video games. It's literally all I can remember about my childhood is literally waking up, staying in my room and playing video games. I don't really remember anything else. So yeah, that's what I've always done. It's what I've always been into, and yeah. So during school and stuff, I was very disconnected. I wasn't really talking to people. I wasn't really doing anything. I wasn't turning up to school half the time, and I just hated being there. I didn't have a very fun life at school. So when it got to my later years, when I was actually coming up to my GCSEs and stuff like that, I dropped out. I dropped out because I just couldn't take being at school anymore, and there's more to it than that, but I don't want to go too much into it. But yeah, and I found myself in this position, in this problem of where I'm gonna be at my point in this life. What am I gonna do for work? What am I gonna do for a career? And so I pretty much came up with I'm going to do something which requires minimal effort, minimal brain activity, does not require brain, does not require thinking, does not require skill. Because to me, it's just work and I don't really want to do it. So I ended up picking construction as a general labourer. Right, I went and did my CSCS course. I got my CSCS card and I did it. I passed. It was easy. It wasn't hard whatsoever, and yeah, it wasn't a problem. So I started taking jobs as a general labourer, and at first, because it was my first bit of real money coming in, I was happy. I was enjoying life. I was like, okay, yeah, I'm finally getting some money and stuff like that. And you get a little bit excited when you get your first bit of money. It's one of those things. So yeah, I ended up doing well. I got plenty of experience. I know it. I mean, you literally turn up to site and they'd be like, go move this or go pick that up or go sweep this, come back, sweep that, look busy. That's all you did, right? You didn't do anything like amazing or anything like that. So after a while, I started getting a bit sick of it. I started getting a bit sick of it because the money was shit for the amount of work that you're doing. The money is really bad. And on top of that, I wanted to do something with my life. I wanted to be on a bit more money, and I wanted to do something which actually requires thinking. So at that point, I decided that, well, because I don't really know what I'm doing still, I might as well do something better than being a general labourer in construction. And so I decided to become a machine driver because I was looking around and I was seeing these machine drivers like while I was on site as a labourer, and half the time they just got to sit in the machine and chill. And I was like, damn, like if I sit down for 2 seconds, then I get in a lot of trouble. Do you know what I mean? Like they'll send me home. So yeah, I decided that I wanted to become a machine driver, and I wanted to go for a machine that I thought would be very interesting. So there is a lot of different machines on site. There is a telehandler, there's a 360 excavator, and there is like normally a loading shovel most of the time. So I decided on the 360 excavator for a few reasons, mostly being the fact that it was more interesting and more in depth, right? With a digger, like an excavator, you could be digging out, you could be picking up, you can be breaking like concrete, you can be like loading loaders, like machine loaders. You could be doing like quite a few different things, right? Whereas with like a loading shovel, all you're doing is loading. You're literally picking up and then putting in a lorry, picking up, putting in a lorry. So I didn't want to do that because I knew that after a while you just sick of it and get bored. It's gonna come later, come back later, like in the story to bite me in the ass. But you'll see. So I chose the 360 excavator. I looked online, I looked for a course, and I found a course that was 14 days, and it was 2.5 grand. And I'd been saving up money, like from my labouring job, just saving up every penny that I could save. And I did this for months and months and months. I did this over like a year, pretty much, like skipping all that. And then I paid for it. I got my date, and I went to it, and I smashed it. I literally smashed it. Like, I did everything that I could have done at that job. I performed well. I just did my job, and yeah, so I ended up passing after the like 14 days, and yeah, it was happy days. It was nice. So I got my CPCS card. It's like a red card that you get. It basically means that you're trained to operate that machine. You are legally trained to operate that machine. To get your blue card, you needed your NVQ level 6 as well as 2 years experience on the job. Yeah, this is going to be another problem that I'm going to be facing. So I just passed, right? I'm on agency and stuff like that. And so I start looking for jobs, and I'm skimming through them, and majority of them want your blue card. This is the first big problem I faced. When you go onto an agency and you call them up and you tell them that you have just passed your course, you have just literally passed your course, and you've just got your card, your red card, most of the time they're going to do one or two things. They're either going to hang up on your face, or they are going to very politely tell you to fuck off. This was the case 99% of the time. So after about a month of looking for 360 work, not getting nowhere, I was so pissed off. I was angry because I was back doing my old labour and stuff, because I had to still work during that time. And it wasn't only that, it was also because of the time commitment that I put in. Right, I put in those 2 weeks. And remember, I'm an agency. I don't get holiday pay. I don't get annual leave. I don't get any of that stuff. So when I'm not working, I'm not making money. So I'm in this really hard position of where I've got to do something about it. So what do I start doing? I start lying. I start going on there saying, oh yeah, I've got a year's experience on the machine. I'm really good at doing this, really good at doing that. And I pretty much waffle my way into jobs. And that's what I did. And it worked. I actually got work doing it that way. It was funny. Doing it the right way, doing it the correct way, I didn't get anywhere. Doing it the wrong way, I started getting anywhere. So that's the problem. So I literally went on to my first job, and as you can expect, I did poorly because I've never been in the machine before on a job. And it also puts you in that hard position of where now the site manager that you're working for thinks that you've got a year's experience, therefore you know what you're doing. The problem with that is I did not know what I was doing, therefore I had to ask questions. Some questions I didn't want to ask, like for example, the diesel system on the 360 excavator. Sometimes it's a pumping system, sometimes it's like a gun that you get at a petrol station that you put in, and sometimes they had codes on them that you need to code. I wasn't sure. Sometimes it was a key. I wasn't sure. So I was in that problem and in that position of I didn't want to ask. I didn't want to ask for help, because if I did ask for help, I'd be put down for it. I'd be reprimanded for it. I could risk losing my job by asking for help. That is the problem. So, yeah, I literally worked like 1-2 days, because obviously it was my first job being on there and I wasn't that good. They let me go. They said basically like, look, we clearly tell you haven't got a year's experience and we're not happy with you, and we're going to look for someone that does have experience. So it falls into this really hard position where I have to lie to get work. I can't ask for help. And when I do, I get like 2 days work before they let me go, because they see that I haven't got that much experience, right? Yeah, this is the problem. When it's taken me like 10 days to find a job, and then I'm going there for about 2 days. Do you see why this is a problem? This is a really big problem. I cannot pay rent with that. I cannot live off of that. So I had to go back to labouring. And now I'm in this really messed up position of where I don't know what I'm doing with my life, being perfectly honest. I sort of drown it out by playing games. I drown it out by just doing what I can. And when I'm at home, my mind goes into overdrive mode. It will go into overthinking mode. It will go into, I've got to be looking for work, I've got to be trying to do this, trying to do that, and it's really hard. But I just have to keep going through it. But yeah, the thing that I think is messed up is that the industry, I think, at least when it comes to construction, I think, is broken, is messed up. It is in a backwards thinking way, because the site managers do not care about your personal development. They do not care. They want the job done as fast as possible, and they want to make as much money as they can. It's all selfish reasons. There are no friends in construction. You may think there are. There are no friends. There is nothing like that. So you're in this position of... You're in this position. That's all you are. You're in this position where you're struggling and you just don't know what to do, and it's shitty. And the problem is that they are using all of the older generation of like drivers and stuff who have got experience for their jobs, right? And they keep reusing the same people, and they're not allowing the younger youth or the younger generation to breathe life. I want to get into the industry, and do you know something? I have not been welcomed at all into that industry. I've not been welcome. I felt like an outcast. I felt like I'm just an idiot. I felt like I shouldn't be doing this or I shouldn't be doing that. There is no support. There is no citizens' advice for people like me that are struggling. Whereas if I don't know somebody in the game, or if my dad isn't a fucking owner of a company, they don't give a shit. They don't give a shit. The only way you can get into it now is either you struggle, get lucky, and you're a really quick learner and you pick it up really fast, which unfortunately I'm not. I'm not a quick learner. And it does take me time, and I haven't got that much time to do that because I'm in this position where I've got to be making X amount of money each month. X amount of money. And doing 360 work at the minute is not cutting it. So I'm having to go back to labouring work where I'm on even more shit money, but because I can actually stay there consistently, in, out, it adds up to more money over time. Do you get what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's the predicament that I'm in my life at the minute. But yeah, I thought that I'd make this video just sort of like give you an introduction to who I am, how I behave, stuff like that, and so you get to like know me a little bit better. I know this is probably not going to be a very interesting vlog for you guys to listen to. It's going to be a lot of me just whining, but it's just the point that I am in my life, and I made this channel as a distraction away from it. I played video games as a distraction away from it, and I thought this would be a nice series, or vlog series, because it also gets me used to talking and stuff like that, and communicating with you guys, and even just being on camera. I'm not very comfortable being on camera, I'll be honest with you. Like, for me, it's, but yeah, that's just kind of person I am. But anyway, yeah, I think this has gone on long enough. I made my points. Thank you ever so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And yeah, I shall see you in the next video. Bye-bye.